Alright, so we just arrived in Gifu Prefecture and we're here in Shirakawa, which is the thatched roof village. It's a World UNESCO Heritage Site. You can see some of the thatched roofed houses behind me. We're gonna go check them out today. We're in the museum now. Right now we're standing in one of the thatched roof houses that we're gonna go see in the actual village. Here in Shirakawa, we will discover the wonders of straw-based architecture. The houses in Shirakawa use thatched roofing. So obviously you can't just order straw from Amazon Prime. No. They do it the old-fashioned way. The people here in this village actually grow and harvest thousands of bundles of straw just for the roofs. So in the 1930s, there was a German architect, I think, who came and visited this town. One of the things he said was that this wasn't a traditional Japanese town. To him, it felt like something out of Switzerland, and I kind of understand that. There are many advantages to the traditional roofs, but they obviously require tons of work and maintenance, which the residents still do themselves. So a lot of these are still residential houses. People live here today, which is pretty interesting. So one thing about the thatched roofs is they have really good airflow, and silk was very important in this region. They used to produce a lot of silk. So they would use the attics of the thatched roofs to grow silkworms. It's kind of weird to think about having a bunch of silkworms in your attic. About 1,600 people actually live in Shirakawa Village and maintain the houses year-round. So you're probably curious what it looks like inside the houses. Well, we're gonna go inside this big one right here. This is the Wada family house, and the Wada family can be traced back all the way through the Edo period. And actually in 1888, Yaemon Wada, who owned the house, was appointed the first mayor of the village. There are a lot of really interesting surviving items in this house, including a lot of the plateware that they used, this massive sunken hearth, and even most of the original roof survives. And yes, this is where they actually grew silkworms. They have a whole display about how they were grown, how they were stored, and again, it was really important to this region. The view out of the main window is really beautiful. You can even see the mountains in the background. But it's not the best view in all of the village. Okay, so this is where we're headed next. Okay, so now we're walking up the mountain to get a view of the whole village, but it's pretty much a hike right now. Luckily, it's not too hot today. So being up here got me thinking, you know, when I first considered moving to Japan, I was like every other person, dreaming of living in Tokyo or Kyoto or Osaka. But the longer I stay here, the more I realize there's something special about being off the beaten path. I'm not someone who thinks that there's a fake Japan and a secret, hidden, real Japan, but I do think that there are two separate distinctions between the modern Japan and the traditional Japan. So definitely go to Tokyo, have a blast, go wild with the crane games and anime merch, but also don't miss out on the other half of Japan. If you can, take a detour to some of those cultural sites that are tucked away in the rural areas and prefectures that are not as popular. So other than visiting the houses and looking at the thatched roofs, there are lots of museums here, there are lots of shops, lots of local crafts, and this area is actually famous for their soba noodles. But we ended up actually having this, which is gohei mochi. This form of mochi is specifically made in this prefecture and the surrounding areas. The guy who made it definitely forgot it on the grill for a little bit too long, but it was still really good. It was my first time having it. So it's really interesting. It's like stepping back in time. All the houses are made of wood and straw. Some of them are 250 years old, which is why it makes sense that there's no smoking allowed in the entire village except for these small areas which are designated only for vaping. Then there was a pig in a stroller. And we ended the day by taking a look at the local shrine. Oh, and in some places in Japan, they decorate the manhole covers. Can you tell what this one is supposed to be in Shirakawa? Alright, so that's our trip to Shirakawa Village. We got to see a whole lot. And please like and subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know in the comments if you would come to Shirakawa Village or if you hate it and you would burn it down to the ground. So there's only two options, so whichever one you pick, just leave it in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this one, check out one of the previous videos.